So, I want to talk about my experience with childhood sexual abuse. I'm 40 years old now and it still affects me. The man who assaulted me is long gone. There's no confronting him. There's no putting him in jail. Nothing. He's gone. But his presence in my life, I feel, changed everything about me. I feel like I could have been somebody completely different had this man not been in my life. He was trusted, and as I got older, I learned of things that maybe he should have been questioned or just looked at a little bit more closely, but he wasn't. It started when, God, I can't even remember. As far back as my memory goes, that was a normal part of my life. So when he was assaulting me, I didn't know that it was wrong. It was just normal. And I never talked about it though. So I think even at that young age, I knew this is something that happens, but we don't talk about it. We don't say anything. So as I got older, the abuse stopped for a little bit. And I remember being in 4th grade and we had that talk in school about good touch, bad touch, stranger danger, all that good stuff. And it was at that time I realized, oh my God, what happened to me was wrong, and this isn't normal. This doesn't happen. And I started feeling so much shame. And I did try to talk to a guidance counselor, but even then, I wasn't completely honest. I said the very minimum. I never went into how bad I was abused. I just said he touched me. They sent somebody to the house to talk to me, and I downplayed it all. I didn't want to hurt anybody around me. I didn't want to hurt my family, my mom. It wasn't brought up again. Fast forward, I'm a teenager, and those memories were just so far away at that point. I started questioning myself. Did it happen? Did I make this up? Nah, wild imagination. It's just no way this happened. Until I was 16. And the man's back in my life. Everything seemed normal for a while. Until one day he's alone with me. And he tries to stick his tongue down my mouth. I'm a little bit older now, a little bit stronger. I push him off of me and away. And I screamed at him, no. And I left. He was actually living with us at the time. So I remember coming home later and going into my bedroom. And on top of my dresser there was a check for $20. $20. I couldn't believe it. But it made all those memories come back. And I knew I was right and he was wrong. Fast forward now a couple more years. Mind you, I'm not talking about this, I'm not telling anybody. I'm still keeping this deep, dark, shameful secret. Because it was all my fault. So he dies. Pretty gruesome death. I didn't care. I didn't cry. I showed zero emotion at his funeral. But then I was told, "What's wrong with you? Why aren't you crying?" I just shrugged my shoulders. I was happy. So now that shame started turning into anger. I was developing into this person that might have never existed. I was inside my head all the time. I was quiet. And always doubting myself, always feeling ashamed of myself. I turned to food. I didn't want anybody looking at me. Put on a massive amount of weight. Don't touch me, don't look at me. But then I was embarrassed of myself and the way I looked, and I hated it. It's just, I didn't know what to do. After food couldn't be my coping anymore, I turned to other things, being in a emotionally abusive relationship, drinking. And by the grace of God, I had my baby, and she's wonderful and everything to me, but as she started getting older, to the age of what I was when I started getting abused, everything just started coming back, and my anxiety and my fears and everything was just completely out of control. It made me one of those helicopter moms. I didn't want her with anybody. I didn't trust anybody. Don't touch her. And now as she's older, I still am that way, but I'm getting better. I want to talk about it, and I encourage her to talk to me. And I just want to put out there that this kind of abuse needs to stop, and it needs to be talked about, and it can't be a dirty, shameful little secret anymore, because that's what they're counting on, is for us to keep our mouths shut. And they need to be afraid. Those monsters out there, they need to be afraid, because we're not keeping quiet anymore.